call this committee meeting to order. My name is Nathan Cooper. I'm the MLA for Old Didsbury Three Hills, the chair of this committee. Now I'd like to ask members who are joining us at the committee table to introduce themselves for the record, and then I will call on members who are joining us remotely. And if you are at the table this morning, whether you're a member of the committee or supporting the committee, if you can introduce yourself as it comes around, beginning with the committee clerk, please.
Good morning, everyone. Aaron Roth, committee clerk.
Tanny Alfor, McMurray Wood Buffalo.
Shane Getson, MLA, Laxton and Parkland.
Ludwig, Executive Director, Corporate Services, LAO.
Leanne Bell, Chief of Staff to the Speaker.
Good morning, I'm Dave Egan, MLA for Edmonton Northwest.
And good morning, everyone. Christina Gray, MLA for Edmonton Millwoods.
Afton Koenig with the Parliamentary Council Office.
Shannon Dean, Clerk.
And now joining us remotely, Mr. Singh.
Good morning, everyone. Peter Singh, MLA Calgary East.
Mr. Sabir.
Irfan Sabir, MLA Calgary Bowler McCall.
Ms. Phillips.
Shannon Phillips, MLA for Lethbridge West.
Ms. Rosewell.
Hi, MLA Garth Rosewell for Vermilion Lake, Mr. Wainwright.
Mr. Long.
Martin Long, the MLA for West Gillette.
If I missed anyone. Excellent, thank you. Before we turn to the business at hand, a few operational items. Please note that microphones are operated by Hansard staff. Committee proceedings are live streamed on the internet and broadcast on Alberta Assembly TV. The audio and video stream of transcripts of this meeting can be accessed via the Legislative Assembly website. Those participating remotely are encouraged to please turn off your camera, except for when you are speaking, and mute your microphone when you're not speaking as well. Members participating virtually who wish to be placed on the speakers list are asked to email or send a message in the group chat to the committee clerk. Members in the room, please indicate your desire to speak by signaling to the chair. Please set your cell phone and other devices to silent for the duration of the meeting. With that, it brings us to item number 2 of our agenda, the approval of the agenda. Is there anyone wishing to move the motion to approve the agenda? Ms. Gray. Ms. Gray moves that the Special Standing Committee on Member Services move the proposed agenda. Is there any questions, comments, concerns, or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, please say no. Remotely, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, please say no. Motion is carried. Brings us to item number 3, the approval of the meeting minutes. Are there any amendments to the minutes from our last committee meeting? If not, would someone be willing to propose the approved motion? Mr. Getson. Any discussion, question, comments, concerns on the motion? All in favor of the approval of the minutes, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, please say no. On the phones, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion is carried. Brings us to number 4, the report to the Members' Compensation Benefits and Allowances Review Subcommittee. Honorable members, the Members' Compensation Benefit and Allowance Review Subcommittee has provided an interim report to the committee in accordance with the motion to the committee passed on November 9th, 2023, which established the terms of reference for the subcommittee. The report was circulated to committee members on Friday, January 26, 2024. The subcommittee is requesting an extension of time to complete its work, including extending the engagement of Ms. Cheryl Scarlett, the independent consultant retained by the Legislative Assembly Office, as part of the subcommittee review of members' compensation benefit and allowances. I would like to open the floor to comments, questions on motions in relation to the subcommittee report. If there isn't significant comments, questions, or concerns, there can be a motion made. It would go something like this. that the Standing Committee on Member Services, A, receive the interim report from the Members' Benefit and Compensation Review Subcommittee. B, the subcommittee recommends to extend the deadline by which the subcommittee must submit its advice and recommendations to the committee from January 31st, 2024 to September 30th, 2024. And point 2, continue the engagement of the independent consultant for the duration of the committee's review, compensation, benefit, and allowances. Are there any questions, comments, concerns, or is anyone prepared to move such a motion?
I'd be prepared. I think you read my mind, Mr. Speaker. Mr.
Thank
Chair.
you. Any other questions, comments, concerns on the motion? Anyone remotely? All in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, please say no. Remotely, please say aye.
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 Opposed, please say no. Motion is carried and so ordered. Honorable members, I would just like to make a brief comment that as the committee has extended the time frame for the subcommittee to do its work until the end of September, there are a number of decisions of the committee that will remain pending for us to consider at our next meeting, such as the Legislative Assembly Office will include a contingency in the 2024-2025 budget estimates to account for any possible future decisions of the subcommittee and the committee based on the advice and recommendations that the subcommittee may take. That brings us to point number 5, the proposed amendments to the member services orders, or the committee orders. Members, as you are aware, on April 1st, 2021, Treasury Board issued a new travel, meal, hospitality expense directive that made changes to the rules for travel and meal reimbursements for the public service. The rates in that directive were further updated as of December 1st, 2023. As you may be aware, Member Service Committee orders currently apply the 2015 version of the Treasury Board Directive, Travel, Meal, Hospitality Expenses Directive, despite being superseded by the 2020 directive that applied to the rest of the public service. I would like to therefore open a discussion on the possibility of amending the transportation order to apply the new rates and mileage and parking set out in the updated directive that now Treasury Board has passed and has been in effect since December 1st. This change would impact members to more accurately reflect what has been taking place in the public service. It would also impact Legislative Assembly staff. A possible draft amending order was distributed to members to update these 3 orders. One thing I'd like to note for reference is that the off-road driving portion from the Treasury Board directive was omitted from the change. Before I'd open the floor for discussion, I know that in the draft change that was circulated to the committee, it made a recommendation for the change to take place effective on the passage of such an order. I am of the opinion that that would create some uncertainty for members, but more importantly, for members of FMAS, and it would be my recommendation that should the committee undertake such a decision today, that they would make that decision based on January 1 or February 1 to create absolute certainty for both members and financial management. With that, I'm happy to open the floor for discussion on such a point. Mr. Yao, I believe.
Actually, my apologies. I want to, if there's no discussion, I'll move the
Mr.
motion.
Getson, I see.
Yeah, just for clarity for the board here, I'm inclined to think that the recommendations for February 1st make a lot of sense. It's clean for everybody that way. Go forward. There's no back and forth or trying to add up which days we're where. Let's just make it simple for everybody if that works. That would be my recommendation for discussion for the board here anyway, or for the committee.
Is there any other discussion? Ms. Gray?
Just to say I agree. February 1st coming into force makes sense.
Are there other questions, comments, or concerns? If not, I will ask the committee clerk to put the draft motion. This will require two motions. One as a directive for members and the updated member services orders, and an additional one that will follow that will provide a directive for the Legislative Assembly office and their staff to update their policy. This before you is the one that specifically relates to members, and perhaps someone might like to move that and read it into the record if they're inclined, or I can. Mr. Yao.
Thank you, sir. Move by myself that Member Services Committee approve the proposed miscellaneous automobile travel allowance and meal per diem amendment order 2024 to update references to Treasury Board's current travel, meal, and hospitality expenses directive in the members' allowance order, the regulations exemption, and the variance order and the transportation order to come into force February 1st, 2024.
Excellent. Any questions, comments, concerns with respect to the motion? Anyone remotely with any questions, comments, concerns with respect to the motion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, please say no. Remotely, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, please say no. The motion is carried and so ordered. This brings us to the second motion. I wondered if there's someone who might be willing to propose such a motion once it gets up on the screen there. Yeah, I see Mr. Yao has indicated he would be willing to do so. Perhaps he might read it into the record for us as well.
I'd like to propose that the Member Services Committee approve the proposed miscellaneous automobile travel allowance and meals per diem amendment. Oh, sorry. Move that the Special Standing Committee on Member Services direct Legislative Assembly Office Administration to adjust the travel, meal, and hospitality policy for employees to match the rate and travel, meal, and hospitality expenses directive, Treasury Board Directive number 05-2020.
Is there any questions, comments, concerns with respect to the motion? Remotely, any questions, comments, concerns? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, please say no. Remotely, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, please say no. Motion is carried and so ordered. There is no other business before the committee, although we do need to have a brief discussion on the next meeting date, and I'm not sure. There are two decisions that need to be undertaken by the committee. Perhaps I can poll, but the LAO will put the final preparations in bringing the budget before the committee for us to have some discussion. I would anticipate that to be as soon as
End of the week.
we will see the budget at the end of the week, and then you likely propose a meeting as soon as next week. Is that correct?
Yeah, in order for us to get our numbers into Treasury Board, we need to have a meeting next week.
Okay. So I will do a quick, or Aaron will do a quick poll of the committee today with the potential of a couple of times next week. And then that will be the last meeting, correct, prior to the budget being proposed in sometime the end of February, I suppose. If that's fine with everyone, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Mr. Getson, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Any opposed, please say no. Remotely, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, please say no. Motion is carried and so ordered, and the meeting stands adjourned.